40 minutes before the meat goes in. That is not a mistake. That is the whole dish. This is Kheema. I've been eating this my whole life. As a child, the smell hit me before I opened the door. In college, I would make a special request for it, just like my kids do now. This is Indian comfort food that does everything. On rice, inside a samosa, stuffed into a potato shell, or at midnight, right out of the freezer after a long trip. You can make this with just about any ground meat. I like the balance between veal and lamb. Beef works great. Turkey and chicken are a bit lean. They tend to need a little bit more fat. The other ingredients are typical for Indian food, especially the garam masala. I'll keep a working version of the recipe in the description if you want to follow along. There's two things we really need to set up before the heat goes on: the onions and the other aromatics. The onions go into the food processor. Several pulses. You don't just walk away. You want them fine, but not liquid. Now, all you aunties watching me right now, judging me, who's going to use a food processor tomorrow? Tell me in the comments. Ginger, garlic, chilies, a quarter to a half cup of water. Pulse this one really fine. These are your two foundations. Everything builds from here. Heat your ghee until simmering, maybe even smoking a little bit. We're gonna make Phodney. We're gonna throw in cloves, star anise, cinnamon, whole cardamom. Even the flavor of our ghee has layers. Watch what happens now. This is where Indian cooking begins. Before anything else touches the pan, we're going to come back to this. Now the onions go in. We're making Bhunao, slowly caramelized onions, the foundation of Indian curries. Medium heat. Just as they start to caramelize, add a cup of water. Patience. Let the water evaporate completely. Then repeat. We're going to do this 4 times. This is what I meant at the start. 40 minutes before the meat touches the heat. Most people stop here. But this part matters more than anything that comes after. We're not done yet. This is what done actually looks like. That deep golden color is a foundation of everything that follows. You cannot rush this, and you cannot fake it. Now we can add the garlic, ginger, chili mixture. Let that incorporate fully. Now, dry spices. Each one has a job. Together, they are the backbone of this dish. Now lower the heat all the way before the meat goes in. The meat is not the hard part. What came before is. But here's where most people make the mistake. Spend the time. Separate that ground meat into tiny pieces. Incorporate the foundation into all of those beautiful chunks of meat. Switch hands if you get tired. The meat must be absolutely fine. No clumps at all. It helps to add the meat before all the water evaporates from the onions, and a higher fat content helps too. The aunties will definitely judge you on this. Those of you watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This was one of the first lessons that I was taught about Kheema. Tell me in the comments if you have a little secret on how to get your meat fine. Watch what's happened to this meat. Super fine. Now we can turn up the heat and let it fry a little bit. This is what you're looking for. No shortcuts got you here. Add the crushed tomatoes, and then the garam masala. But not all of it. We're going to reserve half of it for later. And no, I am still not sharing my grandmother's garam masala recipe. Bring to a gentle simmer, partially covered. Stir occasionally. This goes on for 40 to 50 more minutes. Watch the top of the pot as this cooks down. This is where it either comes together or it doesn't. And we'll come back to that. Now look at the top of the pot. When the oil separates like that, that's your signal. Not a timer. That is done. Why did the onion stop at the rest area? It needed a peel break. Now add the reserved garam masala. Then the peas. Two bags. Keep them through, they were frozen. Fold in the yogurt and spend a little time rewarming. Everything's cooled down a bit. Finally, sprinkle the cilantro and cover for 3 to 5 minutes. This is what we were waiting for. What's Garam Masala's favorite movie? Spice World. Ready to taste? Every time I make Indian food, the whole house fills with the smell. My family is hungry even before I plate it. Let's give this a shot. Just plain. You can see how fine the meat has become. Perfectly seasoned. The heat level is fantastic. If it's too much for you, you can add a little extra yogurt. The peas give it a nice, pleasing pop. This is earned. If you enjoyed watching this, consider subscribing. Thanks for cooking with me.